And this audio is going to be for those of you that find yourselves in no communication situations. They could be, I'm going to say it doesn't just have to be with your twin flame, it could be with anyone. Though we're going to use our twin flames as a focal point because we already do, and that way we can alchemize the energy in there. And when you do that, when you get to a place to where you can recognize a trigger, a discomfort, a desperation, and you can alchemize that into comfort, ease, satisfaction, joy, when you can take that feeling of lacking and feel like you have a wholesomeness, that's alchemy, and that's part of your light work. And that's part of what spirit is helping you and your twin learn how to do. So, the way that this is being told to me is that it's intended to be used, which you can, if you can find another way that works for you, do it. But the intention is that when you find yourself in a situation where your twin is not communicating with you, or even that you feel like you don't want to communicate with them or something like that, whether it's like long term, whether it's been weeks or months or years, or it's just a short one. Maybe it's just for a day. Maybe it's for a few weeks. Maybe you're in the beginning of your journey and a few hours feels like forever. Or maybe, you've gone a week before, but you feel like there's a space of a month ahead and you want to be able to navigate it without communicating. There's many reasons that you may feel called to this. But a lot of times we end up manifesting situations around us that are even more uncomfortable than the discomfort of not communicating in 3D with our twins. And it comes up because we have really shitty self talk. And that's not something to beat yourself up for. It's a societal thing. We're helping to heal this. And these little ripples of moments when you learn to self soothe will help go out into the rest of the universe, even before you are anywhere near anyone else. It's already magic. So when you find that you have moments where you're thinking about the lack of your twin, they're not there, they're not talking, or they're not seeing you, whatever it is, and you find yourself thinking about what they're not doing right, or the things that you wish they were doing with you right now, or maybe you get some news of them doing something with some third party and then your mind starts to roll on. I'm intentionally not listing a whole lot of examples because I know that your mind has already mastered that. That is a skill that will be used for other things later. Right now, what we want to do is grow in the ability to build momentum in soothing thoughts. Because those thoughts about what you don't have and what they're doing that you don't like, or any sort of observation of distance and time and space between the two of you, that just holds that in place. It's not that what they're doing is correct. It's not that you're incorrect about it being sucky things to do. It's simply irrelevant because the more you observe that stuff, the more it manifests. So we're going to go now into thinking about this situation. You don't have the communication that you would desire. There's not progress going on. What I want you to start doing is telling yourself a different story. So, you know what? I can tell my twin has not reached out to me right now, that this has nothing to do with my worthiness. I know that my twin adores me, and I know that my twin would be talking to me all the time in different circumstances. I know that I can feel them talking to me in 5D all the time, so I also know this is just a 3D thing. And I know that spirit works in all sorts of miraculous ways, and that this is about my journey and their journey, and that we are two separate people. We can be a we, but we're always going to be a you and a me. And I know that only amazing things are happening. Whether it looks one way or another in the 3D, I can feel it in my entire being that what my twin is going through right now while they are not talking to me is helping them to grow. It's helping them to evolve. It's helping them to find themselves, which they really, really need. And I know that they're going to appreciate me even more. And I'm already appreciating myself for past, present, and future at being the kind of twin that does not need to force the process, that does not need to change the journey from whatever it is, that does not need to save or rescue or inform or direct or control any of the journey that my twin is on because I already know. I already know that all roads for them lead back to me, especially because I can see that in my journey, all roads lead back to them, to my twin. And we're always reflecting. And I know that while it might be a little uncomfortable to go out and explore the world as just me, I also know that every time I do that, my twin reflects me. And my twin goes out into the world and learns to be themselves in that. And I know that that's a really beautiful thing. And that no matter how lonely I might feel sometimes, no matter how often I may just want to play with my twin, just talk to me, that no matter how much I might feel that I know that they are worth the wait, and I know that I am worth the wait. And I know that when we get to the next few places where we meet on our journey and our journeys, that we're going to feel even more amazing about ourselves. And I know that in the times when harmony comes, when union comes, when all those beautiful things come, that there's going to be way more after that. And that I'm going to feel so comfortable. I'm going to be that kind of divine feminine or divine masculine that can sit with them and not feel bothered by the connections that may come in and out as they learn more of their karma. I'm not going to be bothered by my own uh, karmic learning coming in and out because I'm going to know that those are temporary. They're things that come in and out of the story, and I'm going to be looking at how our journey is more than just right now. Our journey is over time. Our journey is multiple lifetimes, and when I think about a lifetime of experience rather than just a few years of experience, I feel so much more comfortable thinking about this time of separation because a few months is nothing within a year. A year is nothing within 5 years. 3 years is nothing within 40 years. 40 years is nothing within 80 years. And 80 years ain't nothing when you got 800 lifetimes in front of you after 800 lifetimes before you. And so I feel really great looking at that saying, this ain't nothing. And you could go into self-talk like, all you got to do is wait. And then change that from, and it's not even waiting because you're growing. And if you're growing, you're not waiting. That's, and I'm going to think about all the ways that I know that I'd like to grow as a person, and I can do it. I can work on that stuff because I've seen that I used to wait for my twin or for someone to any one person to be there to be my object of affection and to allow me to be their object of affection. And I can see that even though those things feel good, what feels even more amazing is how many things that I can alchemize within myself and the energies around me and how I can see them grow within me and around me, and I can work on all these beautiful connections, and then I'm going to feel really really good about myself so that if we don't talk for a day or a week or a month or a year or however, or we talk but we don't get to see each other, it's still going to be okay because I'm still going to be doing amazing things because I'm going to keep talking to myself in beautiful ways. And when I talk to myself in beautiful ways, I feel more grateful for who I am. And then I'm able to see that in just being myself, I am actually being an incredible example to my twin. And I know that it was already extremely difficult for them to stay away from me when I was in my own distorted energy. I have that evidence in my story. I can see that even when I was reactive and dramatic and up and down and hot and cold, that they still had such a hard time staying away from me. And so now it's even more challenging, and so it's actually really incredible if my twin is able to not talk to me for this length of time. Either spirit has an incredible, like, orchestrated circus all around them designed to get them to see what they're doing without me, or they're really growing already and they're in a place where they have much greater self-discipline an ability to think about what they're going to do or say before they do it. And in either scenario, it's really beautiful. And I'm really excited for the moments when 3D connections come in and I can compare them to what my natural feelings about what was going on were happening. And I can compare what my twin was doing to what my journey was and see more reflections. I've got data already, moments when we took the garbage out at the same time and didn't even know it, and they told me, and they didn't even know that the connection was in there, but I saw it. And then later, there's moments when they tell you that they so noticed that you two were doing something at the same time, and as those moments go on, each moment is more and more beautiful because it's like the saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And so in each of those connections, it's going to be beautiful and more beautiful, especially considering that my twin has to either be wrapped up in so much stuff that they're going through a lot of karma very fast and learning and growing very quickly, or they have reached a point in their growth where they're able to have some self-respect and self-control and think about what they're doing, which actually makes them even more safe to communicate with, whether they're communicating back or whether it's in 5D or whether it's seeing them. I'm seeing their growth, and I'm seeing that I have the growth to be able to see that growth because I'm now seeing the beauty in the experience that I have right now in this moment. I'm seeing the beauty of how wonderful it is to sit with myself and spirit, and sit with myself and my kids, and sit with myself and my family, and sit with myself and my friends, or my work, or whatever it is. And I'm seeing the beauty in all of those moments, and I'm appreciating everything that I have right now. And these moments would not be here without these moments of separation. And then that helps me to see that we really never have been in separation, that the mission of separation was about understanding that separation is an illusion. And because I know that I'm learning this and I am seeing this and the momentum is building and my twin always reflects me, I can see that my twin is also healing those fears of abandonment that first created our separation and first prevented us from coming right together, just allowing the gravity to pull us together. It was all these fears of abandonment, fears of disharmony, disunion, fears that once we got it, we would lose it. And I can feel all of those just fading away or dripping away as if in a shower, where it just washes away all those fears because there is no separation. It's only a 3D illusion meant to show you that. And the more that I see that and the more that I know the more my twin is learning that in their own ways, because I know that my twin is not me. I know that my twin has so many similarities and yet enough differences that we are polar opposites in our own ways. And that's what makes us yin and yang. So I'm not going to compare how I would think about a situation to how my twin thinks about a situation, because I know that Spirit put those differences in there to bring a beautiful balance to each of us, separately and together, and that those are some of the most magical parts. And because we have our differences, because I feel how I feel for my twin and they feel how they feel for me, and because there is a difference in our journey at this moment, we are able to see how we align in every future moment, and how in those future moments when we come together and we take our continued journeys, because it doesn't just stop at union, when we get to taking our next missions, we're not going to feel insecure in the ways that we did before, worried that if we're not constantly managing and prodding and prompting and pushing things along, if we're not constantly watching for threats or deceit, if we're not dragon hunting, if we're not doing all that stuff, then all there is to experience is the wonderfulness of each experience. And if I can see that my twin, for any reason, is able to show me a level of self discipline enough to not involve me in all of the drama going on and to leave me to the space to trust that I will not run off and do crazy things or to create some sort of a world without them that they are not welcome in, then I know that I must be having those experiences too. I must be growing as a person and have much greater self discipline than I started with. And now I can see more evidence of how we are still together, much like Einstein's uh, spooky energy. How two things across the universe that have never seen each other and they've been locked away, they can each be rotating, each in the opposite direction, but they change when the other one changes. Across galaxies, this can happen. And because I know this, I know that it is most definitely possible for all of this to be happening with my twins. So I know that this self talk is good for me. I know that it's good for them. And I know that it's going to be a wonderful experience in the future moments when my twin comes to me in their moments of awakening as the waves come upon them and they want to ask me, how my journey was. And I can safely tell them about my soothing self talk and my journal writing and my exploring of friendships and my observing of them and my observings of myself and my shadow work, my dark nights of the soul, my beautiful opening moments in the sun, all of the ups and downs and the moments that it felt crazy. But most of all, I can share with them all the ways that I am grateful for them. And I know that that is something that they have rarely experienced in their lives. And I know that they feel this energy within me of this beautiful healing light work. And I know that I, on my own journey, have not always been my light self. I have had moments where I had to prove to myself that I could be tough, just like I know that they've had to prove to themselves that they could be tough, especially with such a great temptation as them, or for them, such a great temptation as us. And I know that they're really going to appreciate all the decisions that I made, a series of great decisions to allow them to have their journey, to speak up to them in the moments when no one else was calling their BS, to then get to a place of just being light and being unbothered by 3D things and building a beautiful experience around me that is always welcome to them but not determined by them, not stopped by them, because they've never seen anyone do that in their lives. And I know that all eyes are on me. Even when they're not, they are. And I know that every step I take, every move I make, they're watching me, either in their minds or online. And it's in a beautiful way because they're not watching me to sit there and beat themselves up. They're watching me because I'm inspiring people. I am inspiring myself. I am doing my light work, and they have not seen anyone do that. And most people in their lives that they have met have not been genuine when they presented themselves that way. And so it's understandable that my twin might even be a little more nervous and unsure about interacting with me because they're used to people dropping the ball or not being real about it or hiding resentment and bitterness that they can later use to attack. And so I find it adorable that my twin is unable to release things and yet not able to come close to me, because in 40 years that's going to be a beautiful hilarious thing to talk about. And they're going to love themselves even more for the absurdity in it. And we're going to be able to share, iced tea and lemonade and whatever we want on our porch and enjoy not just this moment of separation where we, kind of had to battle ourselves in order to see everything going on within us and around us, but the moments later that we'll get into where we go through our own cycles of, awakened in the light and through dark nights of the soul. And we're always going to come back together no matter what. And so in the long run, when I look at the hawk's eye view, I can see that these are just these are the beautiful moments that create the plot twists that make the chapters of the story of us so amazing, so juicy, so good, so delicious, so adorable. And because I know this, and because I trust myself and I have faith in spirit, I know that I can be the person that holds the beauty of our story in my heart, that carries it there gently, that doesn't need to grasp onto it, just allowing our beautiful story to be in place. And I can feel that, and it's so much stronger than any old layers of me that needed to hold on to the victim story or the gossip or the 3D stuff, because it feels so much better. It feels so, so much better to think about the journey ahead when we reconnect, when they laugh at themselves because they tried everything to try to stay away and try to be, to honor commitments to third party situations they didn't want to be in, and how adorable it was that they chose to be honorable. And then when they reveal to me that they've always wanted to come back, and that the moment that they were awakened to how silly it was that they thought they were trapped when they never were, and how silly it was that they were mad at you for not telling them sooner, or not rescuing them, or not being more dramatic, or forgiving them like they're the moments when they see that it was all in their mind, that they thought that you didn't care that much, or that when you said, you know what, I'm not going to talk to you for a while because you're not acting right, that was some sort of rejection, because they're going to, they're realizing that it wasn't, that actually it was me seeing the best in them, and showing examples of not how to on how to not settle for the least of ourselves or the least of other people or all the leftovers, and how proud they are of me for being willing to do that, being willing to step back and say, it's okay, you are on your journey in the exact time and place where you need to be. And even if it does not, make me jump for joy, I feel gratitude for your journey. And I know that I can learn from it and alchemize things from it and enjoy my journey. And in those moments of choosing roads less traveled, that I know that my twin will be observing me and seeing how I always have been everything that they felt that I was in the beginning. And I can feel how my twin is seeing my own layers of conditioning and trauma and dark, heavy, salty energy just fading away, and how I am becoming more and more like the person that they met, except even better. And I know that the more that they see that, and the more that time goes on, that they are going to continue to allow their own journeys to unfold and to stop beating themselves up so much. And they're going to allow themselves to reach out. And I know that in these moments when they're not communicating in 3D, that they are communicating in 5D, and that they're going to communicate in 3D. And the less that I worry about it, the less that I observe that they're not doing it, the more they're going to do it. And I've already seen this happen so many times in the past, even when I was anxious, even when I was scared, even when I was doubtful. And so now I can have faith, and I can just allow the journey to be what it is, with no hard rules about reach out, don't reach out, answer them, don't answer them, none of that stuff. I can be at ease with this journey. I can appreciate this journey for what it is right now, and for how all of these beautiful moments are going to create more beautifully connected moments later on in the future, both in times of direct 3D union and the illusion of separation. And because I can see that and feel soothed, I know that I'm not desperate for their communication. And I know that my lack of desperation shows a great deal more self respect. And that helps them to learn that same thing. And I also know that they find that the most attractive thing in the world. Someone who can show that they are there in energy, in mind, in 3D, and also not be desperate and not be needy and not be needing to change their journey or change them or make them, be the person that I see that they are. And that when those moments pop in, as they have in the past, and they will continue to in the future, when they have moments of awakening, they will continue to come to me and say, thank you for seeing the real me. Thank you for not letting me get away with that crap. Thank you for being willing to look away for a while and go on your own journey, because in you being you, I am amazed. And as I continue to think thoughts like this, I know that more good things will happen in the spaces between and the spaces in. All right, everybody, I'm going to end this audio here. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave some comments below if you want one a little bit slower or to a more specific situation. If you didn't like it at all, let me know. Either way, I will catch you in the next